The advantage of floating point representation over fixed point representation is that it can support a much wider dynamic range, which is the largest and smallest numbers that can be represented. Floating point numbers has more flexibility than fixed point numbers, which has limited or no flexibility. The internal representations of data in floating point hardware are more exact than in fixed point, ensuring greater accuracy in the results. A floating point unit, FPU, is a part of a computer system specially designed to carry out operations on floating point numbers. Typical operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and square root. Some of applications of floating point units are high-performance computer systems, mobile applications. Floating point units are also used in high-speed objects recognition system. And in medical image recognition, greater accuracy supports the many levels of signal input from light, X-rays, ultrasound, and other sources that must be defined and processed to create output images with useful diagnostic information. Digital Signal Processor (DSP). Every time a DSP generates a new number via a mathematical calculation, that number must be rounded to the nearest value that can be stored via the format in use. Rounding and truncating numbers during signal processing naturally yields quantization error or noise, which is the deviation between actual analog values and quantized digital values. Since the gaps between adjacent numbers can be much larger with fixed point processing when compared to floating point processing, round-off error can be much more pronounced. As such, floating point processing yields much greater precision than fixed point processing, distinguishing floating point processors as the ideal DSP when computational accuracy is a critical requirement. The graphics processing units, GPUs, today perform most arithmetic operations in the programmable processor cores using IEEE 754 compatible single precision 32-bit floating point operations. The designed floating point unit, FPU, supports two representations of floating point numbers according to IEEE 754, 2019 standard, which are binary 32 and decimal representation decimal format. The following arithmetic operations are supported for each of the two representations: addition, subtraction, and multiplication between operand A and operand B. Single instruction multiple data, SIMD, is also supported for any of the supported operations with a maximum number of 16 similar operations per SIMD instruction.